Greetings, my name is Juliana Buitrago, and together with my partner Gabriela Mas Molano, today we are honored to present our research titled The Influence of Digital Resource Management on English Vocabulary Learning in Virtual Learning Environments. This study was conducted within the context of UNAD's CINE program, which served a very particular population, students from vulnerable communities, often adults and young adults, who are completing their educational through flexible distance learning. Before starting, it is important to highlight why this topic matters. Virtual learning has expanded rapidly, especially after the pandemic. However, not all students have the equal access to technological resource. In Colombia, many learners, especially in rural or marginalized areas, depend on mobile phones, unstable internet, or limited digital skills. Understanding how digital resources are organized and how students interact with them allow us to identify strengths and weaknesses in virtual teaching. This study seeks to contribute to this broader conversation, offering insights that can help improve the design and use virtual learning environments, especially for vocabulary acquisition in English A2.2 course. Okay, we are going to continue with the datasheet. This describes the technical details of our study. Our work is categorized as a qualitative research project, especially descriptive and exploratory because we wanted to understand students' real experience with digital resource. This research aligns with ESEDU's institutional line on English didactics and virtual education, emphasizing how language learning occurs in technology-mediated settings. The study was developed by Gabriela Mas Molano and Juliana Buitrago. We select 5 keywords that represent the essence of the research, that are digital resources, vocabulary learning, virtual education, discourse analysis, and English A2.2. Each of these keywords reflects a core dimension of our work. Digital resources represent the tools and materials. Vocabulary learning is the linguistic skills we examine. Virtual education is our learning environment. Discourse analysis is our methodological approach, and English A2.2 defines the specific student level, in this case, the course. Altogether, they define the scope, purpose, and methodological direction of our project. Okay, we are going to continue with the statement of the problem. We approach the central issue of our study, according to Brinkman 2007. A good research problem must answer the famous question: so what? In other words, why does this problem matter? In our context, the problem is deeply rooted in the realities of the CINE program. Students face limited access to computers, unstable or low quality internet connections, lack of technological literacy, difficulty navigating the virtual campus, and sometimes unclear instructions from the LMS. All these challenges combine to create real obstacles of learning vocabulary in English. For example, when instructions are not clearly structured, students spend more time figuring out what to do rather than interacting with the vocabulary itself. Additionally, because in-app courses are asynchronous, students depend heavily on the clarity of the materials and the organization of the platform. So the question, so what, here becomes crucial. If the resource management is not effective, students in vulnerable situations fall further behind within educational gaps. So our research problem is not only academic. It has a social dimension, a pedagogical dimension, and a technological dimension. Understanding how digital resource management can help improve vocabulary learning, but also support equity and accessibility in virtual education.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. Now, moving to the objectives. Our general objective is to analyze how digital resource management influences vocabulary learning in the CNET virtual environment. To achieve this, we develop four specific objectives. First, identify students' perceptions of the digital resource they receive. The second, examine the way resources are organized and accessed, considering structure, clarity, and availability. And third, explore how the use of these digital tools supports vocabulary learning, and focusing on students' experience and limitations. And then finally, number describe the emerging and themes and patterns that appear in students' discourse. And each objective let use to design instruments, gather data, and organize or analytical process strategical. And the next, literature review. We build around the theoretical framework that supports the study. We worked with several important theories, and in moderating Salmon, this explains how tutors guide the students in online learning environments in CNEP. Tutors are essential because they provide clarity, orientation, and support in asynchronous learning. And the self-regulate learning Zimmerman, science students must manage their time, monitor their learning, and overcome digital changes. This theory helps we understand how the students navigate the platform independently. Autonomous learning little. Virtual environments demand autonomy. Students must work through materials at their own pace. The clearer the resources, the stronger the autonomy becomes. And collaborative learning, although the CINE program is asynchronous, collaboration still occurs through WhatsApp groups, peer communication, and tutor interactions. We also reviewed empirical students at international, national, and local levels. Research consistently showed that when digital resources are not well managed, students face obstacles in learning vocabulary. These theories and students provide the analytical lenses to interpret our findings. Okay, the next methodology, we select a qualitative, descriptive, exploratory case study because our goals was to understand experience, perceptions, and meanings regarding resource management. And our participants were then students from cycle 6 of the CINE program, individuals how depend entirely on virtual education. We use two main instruments. One, a Google Form survey, and two, and direct observation of the CINE platform. We analyzed data using discourse analysis, which allowed us to look beyond the literal answer and identify the patterns, recurring expression, and thematic connections. We coded the data, groups the codes into categories and then into emerging dimensions. This process allowed us to connect the students' discourse with their learning realities.
Okay, we are going to continue with the results. And we have that we organize our findings into descriptive data, perceptions, and emerging dimensions. The first one, we have the access and connectivity. Most students report relying socially on mobile phones with unstable internet that frequently interrupting their learning. The second one, resource organization. Students generally found guides and activities clear, but some struggle to locate a specific resource or instruction between the LMS. The tutor mediation. Tutor support was essential. Students frequently mentioned the value of WhatsApp communication and LMS messaging for clarification. Vocabulary learning. Many students felt that digital resource helped them improve vocabulary. However, technological barriers limited their practice time and comprehension. And the emerging dimensions. Through coding and analysis, we identify terms such as digital limitations, support dependency, clarity of materials, and perceiving learning improvement. These findings illustrate the real experience of CNEP students with digital resource. Okay, we are going to continue with the discussion. Our results confirm Salmon's e-moderating model. Students depends on tutors for guidance and structure in online learning. They also aligned with Zimmerman's self-regulate learning because students must independently manage their process, especially in asynchronous environments. Furthermore, our study highlights that the importance of autonomy, which improves when resources are easy to use, clear, and accessible. A key contribution is the documentation of the challenges faced by low connectivity. Sometimes rarely addresses in previous literature. Thus, we confirm that effective resource management positively influence vocabulary learning, while poor management or technological barriers negatively impact the process.
Okay, and the conclusions in our final conclusions, digital resource management strongly influences vocabulary learning. Clear resources make learning feasible and reduce confusion. Tutor mediation is essential. Students benefit greatly from clear explanations, reminders, and guidance. Digital barriers persist. Unstable connectivity and limited digital literacy reduce learning opportunities. This study contributes new insights into the realities of margin, marginalized, marginalized virtual learnings in Colombia. This is a conclusion emphasis the need for stronger digital literacy programs, better platform design, and improved resource organization. The references here we present the most relevant references supporting our theoretical framework and analysis, including works by Salmon, Zimmerman, Nation, Little, Creswell, and Flick. All reference follow APA 7th edition.
Okay, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you have a nice day today, and thank you for being here for our presentation about our project research.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
See you.